What is going on, everyone? Welcome into Shadow Radio. First and foremost, like always, if you're a fan of the paranormal haunted locations, better yet, you're a fan of traveling in history. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, turn on your notification bell. Don't forget, leave us a comment. Let us know what you think of any of our videos on the channel. We appreciate each and every single one of you. So on Mystical Shadows 402 this week, we are talking a little bit about our previous two episodes on the channel. Our first episode took place at Yellowbanks, and our second episode ended up taking place at the Osborne trailer. These two locations left us with some incredible, intelligent EVPs, and not just that, some experiences that we'll be able to share for the rest of our lives. So with that being said, we appreciate you guys for taking time out of your day to check out this content. It means a ton to us. And Mama T's behind the camera, myself and Amanda, we're going to go ahead and start out this podcast, start out our recap of the Haunted Osborne trailer and the Yellowbanks recreational.
Okay, so first we'll go with the Yellowbanks. Why did you choose to go alone to investigate, and how was it?
Okay, so every season I've been doing a solo investigation for the last couple of years, and this season I was all like, well, I was hoping to have some extra hands on this episode, but unfortunately I wasn't able to get them. So I was like, you know what? I got this. I can do it. It should be a good one for me to do a solo on. But I specifically chose it to do it because of our experience on the last episode. We had a crazy experience. Me, Trey, and Kyle all took the opportunity to go check it out in 2023, I believe. And when we went out there, we experienced what sounded like a voice coming through the static noise, white noise. We caught a voice that says, "Look in the trees." It ain't sweeping or anything at the time, and it was definitely, we were able to hear it, verified it with each other, and then shortly after, this is a murder location, so we're sort of talking about topics that could be related to the situation, and something comes through and it tells us that it had died by a sword, and we asked, "Can you tell us how you died?" And that was still with the white noise. It wasn't with no sweeping, no nothing like that. That's what really, really made me go back out there. Because other than that, the only other experience we had on that investigation was getting stung by bees. And that did not make me want to go out there, I'm not going to lie. But I'm glad I did. It turned out to be a really good investigation.
That's good. That's good. Were you uneasy at all? I know you said you were being watched.
Yeah, a couple different times during the night. At first, when I got there, the first 15 minutes, I was sort of putting my gear into a better bag for me to go hike with, and I noticed coyotes off in the distance, and so I'm all like, well, there's wildlife out here, it's going to happen, and then once I get down in the tree line, I'm right along one of the main entrances that they have mowed down for you to go back there, and I'm right around there. I feel like I'm being watched, and so I was all like, maybe I should start an EVP session here soon, or maybe I should set up something here soon. So I get around the bend a little bit, and there's an opening in the tree line right there, and I'm like, yeah, well, okay, this is where I gotta go, right here. This spot's perfect, because the opening leads into another path that leads you on the backside of Yellowbanks itself, and that also sort of leads you down to where we got stung by bees, and it leads you down towards the river. And so that's where I chose to set up, and that is the initial spot where you can hear me on the video say, "Feels like I'm being watched," when the music box first goes off. Mm-hmm. That is that initial spot.
Right. Okay. The EVPs were crazy. Did any of them ring familiar to you?
Be honest with you, some of the details of the case with this, we aren't able to talk about. It's an unsolved murder. I do believe there's a lot of intelligence out there, because we're 7.2 miles from Tilden. It says Tilden. It also says Johnston. And there's a location in Iowa and Ohio that I was like, whoa, sort of looked it up. We had a Secretary of State that was from around that area that also lived in the area that I was investigating. He had his funeral underneath one of the tallest elm trees out there, and was buried in a local cemetery. So I was like, well, there's a connection right there too. A name was said, it was a connection. There's a lot of intelligence, and definitely familiarity, just because of those couple items.
Okay. So speaking of the EVPs, were you surprised with how intelligent they were?
Oh yeah. Right off the back, I was like, what? Did that just say sure? Like when a music box is going off, and the EVP first starts, and then boom, boom, boom. It was consecutive. It wasn't waiting for a bit. It was boom, 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 boom. And then there'd be a short period where I wasn't really getting much, or there wasn't a lot of chatter through there. So I was like, well, maybe I'll just wait, and try some different techniques to get it to go again. And then the EVP would go boom, 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 boom again, and just, yeah, very intelligent. And the way it says, like, certain things, like, there's 3 items on the ground right there. I'm like, can you set off one of the items I have on the ground? And it says 3. And, like, that right there, that shows intelligence right there, So.
Right. Did you get scared when you heard that footsteps and then the music box goes off right after?
No, I thought it was awesome because I could hear something moving in the brush, and it's sort of gravel / it's right where the posts turn into the grass area.
Yeah.
And I thought I heard the gravel, and I thought I heard the brush, a little bit of movement. The music box is pointed sort of off in that area. I point the flashlight over there to make sure it's not an animal or anything right after the music box starts going off. But I was excited because I was like, whoa, I heard that,
Right.
And I'm out in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
No animals around me.
And don't forget, by yourself.
Right.
For real,
definitely.
I want to know.
And there's, like, obviously you can see, like, insects and stuff like that,
Right.
bugs like that are out there. But what I've noticed is that music box ain't going to pick up on a big bug. It ain't picking up on a big bug. It ain't picking up on a moth. It ain't picking up on any of that.
Right.
So I was able to verify that, and there was no light protruding. That's why in that episode you don't see me pointing the flashlight too much at those items, because when you start pointing lights to protrude it in that area, that's when those bugs or whatever get attracted to that area.
Right.
And you never know, a bug might hit something, So I thought that was cool. So.
Yeah, that was. Okay, so any other thing that you want to talk about?
Yeah, up in the parking lot, there was a section of the video, and I'm talking, and I'm asking, do you know when you were born? 50s, 60s, 70s? And the cat ball goes off. Something tells me no. Also, I talk about, can you tell me when you passed away? Do you know when it was? Was it the early 2000s? I don't know. And it says it, plain as day. Right. But I definitely think there's something going on out at Yellowbanks, And I would have to lean on the haunted side.
Now we're going to talk about the haunted Osborne trailer. How was it going back to the Osborne trailer?
It was fabulous, considering all the other times that we've been there, what we caught and everything. The activity there was a little heavier, so to speak, right?
Yeah. I would have to say we've been there a couple different times on the channel, had some crazy experiences, but I'd say the activity is definitely heavier now and seems to be more active now than the last couple times we were there. Now, whether or not that is whatever is going on with renovations or something like that out there, that could be possible. So, don't know if that has anything to do with it.
Okay. So, you feel like the activity has picked up?
Oh, yeah.
Definitely feel like the activity has picked up, and you could definitely tell. Just the feeling of being there.
Right.
The feeling of being there, you're not alone.
Right.
Like, there's some places you go into and you can feel it. Like, you hit that threshold, you hit the driveway, you pull up, you can feel it.
Yep.
This is one of those places.
Right. The device activity and EVPs seem to be very active throughout the night. What was your favorite part and why?
Mine would be when I spot what I would say was white smoke coming, and I commented about it and asked him, and he saw it through the camera. And
yeah, which I only saw a corner of it, and you could see it during that video.
yes,
You can see it during that video right before it goes to the left corner of that camera, what she's seeing. But yeah, that's a good part.
Okay.
What's your favorite?
So I have 2 favorite parts. My first favorite part would definitely have to be the disembodied voice that we captured.
Yep.
The hey kids. And then the second favorite part would be probably the verification. When we're able to get yes and no answers with the cat ball, but the EMF meter, and the light in the back hallway. That is a very, very, very good part for yes, no answers, that type of stuff.
I would have to say the disembodied voices was awesome. And you caught a lot of orbs, dust, and bugs. Care to elaborate a little bit more?
Yeah, with the orbs, there are a couple of them that we can sort of put it definitely on that. And with the bugs, there was one fly. Okay, yeah. And this fly, almost all night, me and Amanda were getting into it with this fly. because we were trying to find it and it would hide and
Yeah.
come back out. But yeah, one fly that we were having issues with, and then we ended up actually getting it, but towards the end of the night. So in some of the film it's there, but in most of the grid stuff, it's gone. So dust, yeah, there's a little bit of dust in there. There ain't much though.
Yeah.
And what dust is in there, is very minimal. So I think, we lean more towards a couple of those ones are orbs for sure.
Yeah.
Most of it's dust.
What felt so different in the back room?
The heaviness, and that somebody was there watching your every move, kind of. It's hard for me to explain. It's just, you definitely weren't alone, for sure, back there.
Yeah, you get the feeling of you're being either surrounded or watched in the back room, or like cornered, almost, that feeling, while you're back there. But you definitely feel the heaviness. And I think we say something in the video, like, about how it feels different back there. And that's what we're meaning. It feels pretty heavy. Like, you get this overbearing feeling like someone's right in front of you, or right behind you, or right on top of you,
Amanda, tell us about the hand touch in the back room.
When I was showing him 5, and it felt like someone, not like clap, but touched my hand, and I was just like, okay, like, threw me off. There's no doubt about it. It was interesting because, like, never had that happen.
Right. The grid part was awesome. I thought I seen something trying to manifest. Can you?
I mean, there's a couple different times that we've seen movement to the grid. Be subtle, be just little flickers here and there, something trying to sort of map something out, but it's not full-on manifestation.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple different times in the back area by that motion sensor light back there that you can notice during that grid also. Something looks like it's trying to manifest. Now, if something is truly trying to manifest, which could be a possibility, we weren't able to capture it. We were able to capture something trying to get mapped out, something movement, stuff like that. But manifestation-wise, it didn't fully manifest for us to actually capture. But I definitely could see it going on, especially during the edit, because I was like, what? Because when you're standing there, you don't notice a lot of that. What you notice is the brightness and the dimness, stuff like that. You don't notice like the little twinkles that happen in the grid and like the little subtle blackouts, or matte outs.
Right. Okay. So this kind of threw me for a loop.
Okay.
That skull, that was awesome.
Yeah,
care to talk about that?
Definitely. The skull moment, we were standing there. We didn't notice. We just thought it went dim. We didn't notice though. But that skull was definitely the most interesting thing probably we caught there, other than that disembodied voice.
Right.
And that was crazy because the way it mapped out, we were able to capture that though and document it without knowing that we captured and documented something was awesome.
Right.
And it's definitely a good capture.
Right, for sure.
So I noticed that it said a date, 6/24.
Yeah.
That was a good catch. Can you elaborate on that a little?
But yeah, that number, I did notice one significance to me, but that's something that I can't truly lean into.
Anything else you'd like to?
Actually, yeah. If you haven't yet, smash that like, hit that subscribe, turn on your notification bell. Don't forget to leave us a comment. We're grateful for each and every single one of you guys taking the time out of your day to come and check out this content. It means a ton to us. So with that being said, we're going to talk about a little bit what's in store on the channel going forward. We got a couple locations that are from the state of Nebraska yet to drop in November. And then we'll recap these locations in the beginning of December. We appreciate each and every single one of you guys. Don't forget, leave some love on the channel, and we'll see you next time right here on Mystical Shadows 402.
Bye.
Bye.